Top 10 Secrets and Mysteries. 21st Century Science and Mysteries. For centuries, electricity remained one of the world's great mysteries. It was considered a supernatural, mysterious phenomenon, or the manifestation of God's power. With the dawn of scientific inquiry, electricity became something tangible and explainable. Today's scientists still face many mysteries, be they unexplained phenomena in the depths of the universe or in our own human bodies. In this episode, we will explore some of the most extraordinary mysteries of modern science. Memory of water. Water. Researchers have studied the theory that water is able to memorize and store information from substances dissolved in it. They've also explored the possibility that this ability could be used in alternative medicine. Indeed, this is claimed to be the mechanism by which homeopathic remedies work. The Japanese researcher Masaru Emoto carried out research into water crystals and claimed that human consciousness can have an effect on the structure of water. He proposed that water had a memory and that it could react to positive thoughts and words. Water, he declared, is affected by electric impulses, minerals, colors, thoughts, and music. He claimed to have demonstrated that polluted water could be cleansed through prayer and positive visualization, and could itself have positive effects on the physical and psychological well-being of human beings. Healers are convinced that by using healing or holy water, they can positively influence the psychological state of a person, thus healing his or her physical ailments. All this is achieved without the use of expensive medicinal drugs. The well-known Bach flower remedies gather early morning dew from plants, which constitutes the healing core of the remedy. Water influences and plays an important role in another miracle of nature involving bees. Water placed inside a beehive will allegedly change its molecular structure and ultimately have demonstrably positive effects on humans, decreasing blood sugar, alleviating skin and digestion problems, and relieving joint and back pain. Skeptics argue that no research has yet demonstrated the beneficial effect of honeybee water. Nonetheless, many people are convinced of its healing properties. Reincarnation. The most famous reincarnation is probably the Buddhist spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. Each time one Dalai Lama dies, a search commission consisting of respected monks is established to look for a chosen child. This child has to pass several curious trials, aimed at proving without doubt that he is in fact the new reincarnation. This was also the case for the current Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso. Many Buddhists believe that the reincarnation of Buddha himself is always present in this world. This reincarnation is believed to have manifested itself in Ram Bahadur Bomjon, a young man from Nepal. Adherents believe that the Buddha is present in this man, that he can meditate for years without food and water, and that meeting him can bring about a miracle. The birth of a boy with two faces in 2008 in India was also believed to be an example of religious reincarnation. In Western cultures, too, people have long been fascinated by the idea of reincarnation. Philosophers from ancient Rome and Greece addressed the notion of an immortal soul and admitted the possibility of reincarnation into a different form of life, such as an animal or plant. Although the concept of one's soul transmigrating to a new body is foreign to Christianity, more and more mystics, as well as professional scientists, are starting to examine this idea. Western scientists, and even the Indian leader Mahatma Gandhi, took a great interest in the case of an Indian woman named Shanti Devi, who, even as a little girl, recounted accurate memories of her past life. Her life story gave credence to reincarnation and the immortal nature of the human soul. How did life begin? There is a singular, infinite point in time and space, from which, according to the current scientific theory, everything in this world originates. At some point, an enormous amount of energy accumulated and exploded with indescribable force. This explosion, known today as the Big Bang, formed the universe as we know it. Modern scientific theories place the beginning of life on Earth some 4 billion years ago. There have been many theories, most of which were based on the belief that life on Earth was created by a supreme being or God. Others believe life was created by beings from the depths of the universe, an unknown extraterrestrial race that for some reason decided to spread life to Earth. One group of scientists who certainly don't accept the idea of a creator proposed the so-called panspermia theory, according to which life arrived from deep space more or less by chance when a celestial body collided with Earth. Others believe that the first forms of life developed through interactions between organic molecules deep beneath the oceans and under ice sheets. This would have protected the whole process from cosmic radiation and meteor impact. There are many hypotheses, all divergent and complex. One thing on which all researchers agree, however, is that the origins of life on Earth and its development are a magnificent and fascinating miracle, irrespective of whether it was of divine or natural origin. Hypnosis. What is hypnosis? The term comes from the ancient Greek word hypnos, meaning sleep. It is a state of consciousness involving focused attention, during which the mind works in a very different way. A hypnotized person is sensitive to the suggestions of the person inducing the hypnosis, and adopts these suggestions into his or her own feelings. Traditionally, hypnosis was mainly used by illusionists and variety show artists. Though this tradition continues to this day, hypnosis has become important in the field of medicine as well. It was used by the famous psychologist Sigmund Freud, and since 1956, hypnosis has been used as an official medical treatment in the United States. No one has been able to say for certain what happens inside the head of a hypnotized person. All we know is that some people are easily hypnotized while others may be immune to it. People who are highly susceptible to hypnosis are able to do practically anything, overcome their traumas, depressions, or even serious illnesses. Some people are able to perform self-hypnosis. Athletes are known to use this technique to enhance their performance. In 1964, Leonore Modell, a 14-year-old American girl, used self-hypnosis to prepare herself to swim across the English Channel. Under the guidance of her coach, she was able to enter a hypnotic state where she no longer felt fatigue or the coldness of the water. She did indeed swim across the English Channel and was the youngest person ever to do so. Although hypnosis is a very well-known method today, there are still some questions that have not been answered. For example, why are there so few people who are highly susceptible to hypnosis? And what kinds of processes happen in the brain during hypnosis? Secrets of morphic fields. Another mystery is investigated in a modern theory that is unacceptable to many scientists. The hypothesis of English biochemist Rupert Sheldrake states that everything in this world, whether a thing, plant or animal, is surrounded by some morphic field which contains a complete set of information about that object. Could there be such a thing as natural memory in addition to water memory? The proponents of the theory take it further. They say that the joint memory created by all morphic fields is a complex plan that guides everything that happens in the world and stores all information which, under certain conditions, can be mentally accessed, and from which wisdom about the present as well as future events can be extracted. This could be one possible explanation for the psychic abilities of certain prophets, seers and oracles. Are such people really able to consciously or subconsciously enter these morphic fields, read the information they contain, and then transfer this knowledge using tools such as tarot cards, palm readings or crystal balls? There are a number of oracles who could allegedly see the future. One of the most famous was the French doctor and astrologist Nostradamus. During his life, he predicted many things: the death of rulers, wars, the unification of states, and various catastrophes. The blind Bulgarian oracle Baba Vanga has also become famous thanks to her predictions. For example, she predicted the 9/11 attacks on New York, the deadly tsunami in Thailand, and the rise of ISIS and a Muslim invasion of Europe. Is there really such a thing as a universal human consciousness? Time travel. Although it long seemed that time travel is impossible, Albert Einstein's special theory of relativity has shown that at least traveling to the future is theoretically possible. If, according to this theory, an object reaches the speed of light, its time in relation to other objects slows down, which in other words means traveling into the future.
After that eclipse expedition, that Einstein's theories were validated, and Einstein then became the superstar that he was regarded as later because his theories had proven correct. They had fulfilled some prediction that you would never get from Newton's laws of physics, but come immediately out of Einstein's equations of general relativity.
Travelling into the past, however, is still a complete mystery, and interpretations of Einstein's theory differ on this point. The only thing that's certain is that scientists all around the world are studying the subject, and from time to time confirmations of parts of Einstein's theory are announced. For example, in 2015, the successful observation of gravitational waves was confirmed. Gravitational waves are curvatures in space-time which are necessary for the possibility of time travel. Conspiracy theorists are convinced that some research initiatives have already solved the mystery of time travel. The United States Armed Forces have allegedly studied time travel as part of its secret projects, and some people speculate about secret research in connection with the particle accelerator in the CERN research facility in Switzerland. The question remains, how could time travel be put into practice? Most researchers agree that it would require a sophisticated machine, a time machine. Not everything related to time travel is optimistic, however. Many point out the inherent dangers involved in influencing time. Take, for example, the so-called butterfly effect, where a single small action can influence events across a whole planet. Could visiting the past destroy the whole world, as some warnings predict? Why do we sleep? What do we actually need to live? Water, food, air, and sleep. Just as there are unsolved mysteries related to water, the secrets of sleep continue to trouble many scientists all over the world, who are asking one key question: why exactly do we have to sleep? Researchers from the California State University in Los Angeles claim that sleep is mainly a period in which the brain processes information that was collected during the day. However, another group of researchers is of a different opinion. For a long time, they've been observing the brain activity of mice when awake and when asleep. The findings surprised them. During sleep, those parts of the brain that are responsible for the maintenance of the nervous system and excretion of toxic substances and metabolic waste were most active. Of course, sleep is not just a subject of scientific inquiry. For certain spiritual practitioners, teachers, and therapists, sleep can also be a useful tool. For example, in the practice of Tibetan Buddhism, sleep is used in the so-called sleep and dream yoga, which can not only improve the quality of sleep, but also help a person take control of their dreams. Another much debated question is whether sleep is necessary at all. Current experiments show that sleep is definitely important. The world record for not falling asleep is currently 11 days and 2 hours. However, such sleep deprivation can lead to hallucinations, headaches, and ultimately total exhaustion. Will future scientific progress enable us to reduce the amount of time we spend sleeping? The placebo and nocebo effect. Have faith and your faith will heal you, one famous biblical quotation goes. The existence of the placebo effect supports this quote. The placebo effect is a process in which the patient's health improves, not because of the medical procedure that's been administered itself, but because of the patient's faith that the medical procedure is really helping. It's widely accepted that many physical ailments of the body are caused by psychological factors. The only question is how many of those ailments. While some medical doctors claim that a person's mental state can only help in treating diseases that are verifiably connected to one's psyche, alternative medicine proposes a theory that even incurable diseases such as cancer can be cured by a person's mental state. There are many documented cases of the placebo effect from the Second World War, such as when a nurse infused a wounded soldier with a saline solution because she ran out of pain-killing morphine. Amazingly, the wounded soldier felt relief from pain. Homeopathy is probably the most widespread medical treatment associated with the placebo effect. Skeptical researchers are convinced that placebo is the only real effect of homeopathic medicines, which are highly diluted. Homeopaths assert that it's the base essence of the remedies that is at work. Reiki therapy claims to use a vital energy present in the body of every human being, as well as applied kinesiology, which links muscle reactions to concrete emotional stimuli. Many would say it only works as a placebo. Autosuggestion is not always positive. In some cases, the so-called nocebo effect can occur, a situation in which the patient's state worsens because of his or her expectation that the administered drug or treatment will cause harm. Does this effect also apply to reading the instructions accompanying prescription drugs, as some scientists believe? The Matrix. Imagine an inhospitable countryside full of devastation and massive, fully automated factories in which people are kept in a deluded state. People living their lives in a virtual world, a perfect computer simulation from which there is practically no escape. For the past 20 years, some philosophers have speculated that our world is just a virtual reality, a perfect simulation within a supercomputer. Even the famous entrepreneur Elon Musk has recently spoken in support of this theory. He believes that the probability that our world is real is very slim. Why does he think that? Musk bases his provocative theory on the fact that if mankind's technological advance continues at the same rate, it will reach a point where supercomputers will be able to produce a range of perfect virtual realities. Programs in these simulations will not be aware that they are not real, and they themselves will in time start to create their own virtual realities. From the overall perspective, the real world will disappear in the enormous number of virtual worlds. Furthermore, this hypothesis would have us believe that this might already have happened. If so, it's most probable that our world is itself just one of the simulations of the true original world. Natural anomalies, déjà vu, memories of past lives, or faith in God could all just be interference on the part of the overseer of our virtual world. All of this might be an indication that the theory has some truth in it. Even if we accept this theory as a fact, there is still one key question that needs to be asked. Is there any chance that we may awaken from this virtual reality during our life? The Darknet. The Internet, a vast world of zeros and ones where almost anything imaginable can be found. However, Internet experts warn that cyberspace also has its dark side. This is a so-called Darknet, a mysterious underworld of the Internet resembling the filthy, dark alleyways of the worst city neighborhoods. And just as these alleys are outposts for criminals, the depths of the Internet contain material that is best left unexplored. Aside from the Darknet, which is a section of the Internet inaccessible to other computers on the network, there's also the Deep Web, which consists of web pages and other content that is not accessible through regular search engines. To see them, you need special software, and you also need to know what you're looking for. Conspiracy theorists, as well as many experts, assume that the Darknet is a place for dubious characters from all over the world and a difficult-to-monitor playground for criminals. It's a place where shady business deals are made and illegal data is transmitted. It's also a home for hackers. Members of the group Anonymous organize and plan their most important attacks on the Darknet. Although there's constant pressure to limit content on the Darknet, the law is usually one step behind.
The criminals are ahead of us when it comes to imagination and cooperation.
For example, the famous website Silk Road, an internet marketplace where one can purchase almost anything from drugs and weapons to the services of a hired killer, has been banned many times, but it's always managed to get back online. Can we expect to see more such phenomena in the virtual world? 21st Century Science and Mysteries. The last episode of our program has demonstrated that many mysteries have much closer ties to science than we might think. Every scientist knows that in order to solve things, you first have to ask the right questions. We have scratched the surface of some of these important questions in this program. Will the answers to them be found in the near future?